go to a knitting class, and then, you know, by the time I'm done with work, I don't really feel like showing up to it, so I don't go. And yet we hold kids to a different standard around those issues, and we expect them to be able to kind of manage that. So I think having really frank discussions with kids about, if you're going to commit to something, what does that mean? What does it look like? What aren't you going to do because you're doing that? And I think for me, it also really plays into like kind of what I think of as the communication plan, which is probably the most important thing we can do with teen parents, because they're very mobile. And we need to make sure that we have more than one way of getting a hold of them, and we need to be able to do things for them that we wouldn't expect to do if we were working with an adult client. So if it's about them coming to a group, I might be way more willing to call them and remind them and say, hey, tonight is your group. You know, are you going to leave straight from school? Or are you going to go home first? And kind of plan that out with them than I would necessarily with an adult client. So thinking about helping them build those blocks. Again, they have that lack of a sort of ability to control impulses or really to delay gratification. And if you think about being a parent, I think being a parent is all about delaying gratification. So, you know, a lot of young people who maybe they won't say it consciously, but there is a piece of them that had that baby so somebody would love them. And then they get the baby, and babies aren't actually very able to love. So how do you help them kind of sort through that emotional response? How do you help them think about, you know, they might want to go out to this party, so they're just going to leave their baby with somebody that they don't really know, which is a very, very common thing. I'm going to leave my baby with my neighbor. Well, what do you know about your neighbor? Well, they're my neighbor, you know, so really kind of helping them sort through how do they delay that gratification. So interestingly, you know, we talk a lot about brain development, and for adolescents, the highest point of volume for gray matter actually occurs during adolescence. So it's not, you know, you often hear that there's so much happening in early childhood, but there's a lot, adolescence is really a time of as much brain development as is early childhood.